I'm having a good day, too. It was called No Collusion, No Obstruction.
President Trump declaring victory after the release of the long-awaited Mueller report. 11 Alive's Jennifer Bellamy joins us with some of the big takeaways from the 448-page report.
Yeah, Jeff, it's a long report to go through, so let's do all the work for you. The report shows when President Trump learned Mueller was appointed to investigate, he panicked, thinking this would end his presidency. The report also showed Trump's efforts to influence the investigation were mostly unsuccessful. That's because staff members refused to carry out his orders, including White House counsel Don McGahn, who decided to resign over different requests from the president over the investigation. According to the report, President Trump tried to control it on multiple occasions, but the report indicates Mueller still couldn't find obstruction of justice, mostly because the people surrounding the president didn't follow his requests. The report also found on July 27, 2016, President Trump called on Russia to expose Hillary Clinton's personal emails, and 5 hours later, Russians targeted her personal office. The report found no collusion between the Trump campaign and the Russians. Democrats have criticized, though, Attorney General William Barr for allowing the press and the White House to see the redacted report before Congress. They now want to question Mr. Mueller himself. Now, some Georgia members of Congress have responded to the report. And as you would imagine, so far, the Republicans that we've heard from are saying they're happy that the report is out and that there was no collusion. We haven't, though, heard back from many Georgia Democrats so far. We are posting all of those reactions from our local representatives on 11alive.com.